My name's Dean, I'm 32 years old and I'm here today because I have a serious problem. The engine and gearbox are back out. Now this started when I was around 16 years old, but in the last 3 to 4 years it's got significantly worse. I'm going to have to take the engine and the gearbox all the way back out again, which is quite frustrating. So my problem is I just can't stop buying cars. And it's not only that, they're damaged and broken cars. That didn't sound good. And the reason I'm here today is because I think I've hit rock bottom. It is what it is, and now I need to source a new engine. I just don't learn from my mistakes. And I've done it all over again. So yes, I have done it again. I've gone and bought another Audi with a knackered engine, and it is another V8 as well. Now from the intro you'd have seen clips, flashbacks from the last time I did this, and that was on an Audi R8 V8. Now if you want to watch those videos, go click in the top right hand corner and go back and watch those. This one is probably going to go the same way. So let me talk you around my new 2007 Audi R8 V8 manual. Now just take a minute to appreciate how good this thing still looks 15 years after it first came out. It has aged so well. And this one has the all-important 6-speed gated manual gearbox mated to the V8 engine, which I think most people would agree is the go-to combination these days, mainly for like values. I mean, you could argue that the V10 6-speed manual is probably the best combination, but a lot of people do prefer the V8s just because they're a bit lighter and a bit more 50-50 weight distribution and are just a bit more agile. You definitely can't go wrong with the V8 manual still. So let's just go around this car and have a look. And you may be wondering, well, hang about, it looks in pretty good condition. So what's the catch? Why is it the cheapest R8 in the UK? And I will get onto that in a second, but it does concern the engine. It is pretty clean, like interior wise, it's very clean. There is a few broken trims, but it's quite a good spec. It's got the carbon pack, so it's got the carbon trims down the middle, it's got the carbon on the doors here and here, and it's also got the carbon side blades as well. It is got Bang & Olufsen sound system, it's got automatic headlights, doesn't have cruise control though, navigation which will be standard, and I'm not sure, if I'm honest, what else comes with these standard or upgraded. Now when I was bidding on this car, the auction site said it is a water flood, which means potentially flooded engine, and yeah, like the RS4, seized and would require a rebuild or replacement. Now, I don't think that is true, and I'll tell you why. And that is because I put a picture up on Instagram the day that I picked this up, because I found this little slip on the passenger seat, which obviously indicates that it has a ghost immobiliser fitted, and they've also given me the code that I need to do before this car will start. Now, without that bit of paper, I could have wasted days, weeks, or even months trying to work out why this car wouldn't start, because without the ghost code being input, the car just either will not start or will start and immediately cut out. And that would have been a massive headache for me, especially if I thought it was water damaged, because I could have thought all sort of electrical gremlins. So I basically put that picture on Instagram saying, whoever you are, thank you. And they contacted me. And this is where it gets interesting, because the guy that actually wrote that note is a guy that works for We Buy Any Car, and he's the person that took this car in. And he told me he believes that when BCA, who the car will go to once it's been to We Buy Any Car, when they come to collect the car, they drove it from We Buy Any Car to the BCA auction centre, and that is where the problem occurred with this engine. Now, they believe it to have, for it to have an oil leak, a substantial oil leak, and as they've driven, they've lost too much oil, and the engine has developed a problem. I don't know yet. I have no clue what's wrong with this car at all. I'm just telling you what I know before we start looking at it. And yeah, once it's got to the auction site, they've realised that the engine has a massive problem, and then it's obviously been shipped off to Copart, and that is where I have bought it from. So I don't know what's gone on, but in my opinion, it's not flooded and we just have a mechanical malfunction on the engine due to a lack of oil. So that is us up to date. And now we're about to find out exactly what is wrong with this engine. But something else I forgot to mention is I actually don't have any keys with this either. It came with no keys whatsoever. I have literally just managed, as you just saw in the clip, to roll it off the back of the transporter, and that is where it's sat. Luckily for you, it's going to be 2 seconds, but I'm waiting for the lock system to come out and code 2 new keys to the car. Now I just want to thank SATA and Apex Tools for kindly sponsoring today's video, and today I'll show you their 15-piece precision screwdriver set. Now tools like these are always underrated because you never think you're going to need them, but then you're always trying to look for one. Now I'm talking more about electrical because this is a precision screwdriver set, and especially with electrics and modules and stuff, there's always hard to get bolts that are tiny that you just need a little kit like this for. Now this has a range of tools within the kit. We have posi head, we have flat, we have Torx, and we have little Allen keys as well. So they've got pretty much every base covered with the variety of tools. They're made from S2 steel as well for strength and durability, and also they have a lifetime warranty with them too. We have 3 varying positive heads, we have 4 varying flat heads, we have 4 varying Torx and 4 varying Allen key heads there. And you're probably thinking, I'm nowhere going to use them to do an R8 engine rebuild, but I guarantee you at some point during this build, I will need to use one of those tools, mark my words. So I'll put a link in my description for the kit and also to their Amazon store as well. So a massive thanks to SATA and Apex Tools for sponsoring today's video. And just like that, we have new keys and they have been coded to the car so we can turn the ignition on. Oh, and by the way, this car's only done 47,000 miles as well, which is nice and low. I think the battery's knackered as well. It did just have a jump pack on it to code the keys, so nothing's coming up, so I think the battery's knackered. Right, let's try and get this boot open, because the first thing we want to do is check the oil level. Now that we know it's a potential malfunction engine due to a lack of oil. Already pulled the tab off. There we go. Let's get in here. Oh. So one thing I already noticed peering through the glass is someone's robbed me. I think that's a coolant cap. So the first thing I want to do is check the oil level. So how mad is that? That one small post I did on Instagram has completely changed what I do now to diagnose this car, because knowing it's now mechanical and not water ingested. Yeah, there's none in that at all, is there? Don't think. Let me just go get a rag. Yeah, cleaned it, dipped it again, and it is completely empty. So the first thing we're going to do is put some oil in it, and I reckon we'll try and start it. See what happens. What's the worst? Now, I'm actually going to put used engine oil in this purely because it's probably not going to work. So I don't want to waste 5 or 6 litres of brand new engine oil to then put it in the bin straight away. So be fine for a start. We'll put as much used engine oil in as we need. Right, moment of truth. I've put enough oil in it for a start, so fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Ha! Battery's flat, I forgot. Anti-climax or what? Yeah, so I don't know whether we've got a problem with the battery or the engine's just seized, because every time I go to start it, like, makes a loud, the speakers make a loud noise, the electrics go all hazy, and you can just hear the starter going big. So I'm gonna let it charge up for a couple more minutes, just see if it is battery related. Now, I'm sure, as you can hear, the car isn't turning over, and that could be an indication of the fact that the engine is seized, or it could be the fact that the battery is knackered. Now, the battery is in here, in this little cubby hole here, and as you can see, it's tiny. Now, it shouldn't be that small, it should be nearly twice that size, and I've just tested the battery using the tester, and I can't see how many amps it should be, but it's only registering 200 CCA, and it's like 11.8 volts, even after it's been on charge for half an hour. So the battery needs to be replaced with one that's in good working order before I can definitely say that the engine is in trouble. So I've just undone the bolts around here, look, just loads of flatheads, half a twist, just moved the panels out of the way each side, took this front one off, lifted this up a little bit, removed the 2 screws on for the front tub, and the whole thing should now just pull out. Now I'm starting to struggle for light a little bit now, but you can see how small this battery is. I mean, that's barely even good enough for like a Seat Ibiza, let alone an R8. I've just had a look and it should have a battery that's capable of sort of up to 900, 950 CCAs. And this battery, I'm gonna guess, is under half that. I've managed to take a battery off the Octavia VRS, which I know is pretty much brand new, and that's still only 650, so I'm hoping it'll be okay just to turn it over and potentially start the car. So, 4th time lucky, let's go. No, nothing at all. That, my friends, is telling me that the engine is indeed seized. So I had to pause working on the car that night as I ran out of light. So fast forward to the next day, and the first thing we need to do now is get the car into the workshop. And as you can see, there's a bit of a struggle. The rolling resistance with the Quattro is surprisingly a heavy car to push. Now I need to get it back so we can use the pickup truck in the background to pull it into the workshop. And we're going to stop for a very quick picture. Pull the pickup truck round to the front, hook her up to the R8. And drag her up the hill into the workshop. So got the car up on the ramp now, had a bit of a faff because we had to use the trolley jack because the ramp legs were just a bit too tall to fit under the car. We got there in the end and we are now up in the air and I can see the oil leak. So if we look at this side, nice and clean, wishbones all nice and dry, and then on the near side rear, all nice and wet and oily. So no doubt our oil leak is coming from this side. But if I'm honest, the oil leak's the least of our worries right now. Looking over the rest of the car quickly, it looks all right. I'm not going to go too much into it because I don't really care at this point, but it looks okay, just a bit rusty in spots, which you'd expect with a 15-year-old car. So this is where the project now truly begins. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, hit like, share this video, and we are about to get started on the Audi R8. Engine out. I've never worked on one of these before, so I'm excited and very nervous all at the same time, and I really hope deja vu doesn't come back and bite me like it did with the RS4. So as I said, guys, please do subscribe if you haven't already, and the engine and strip down will commence in the next episode. I'll see you soon.